You're watching Sports Today. I'm Sushant Mehta. It was a wicket where the ball, particularly the spinners, were expected to dominate the proceedings. But as it turned out, Rohit Sharma changed it all with a dominant 161 that allowed India to surge ahead in the second test. Rohit played his strokes despite some quick wickets at the other end. And then Rohit got Ajinkya Rahane to give him company as India finished the day at 300 for 6.
About what they're going to see over the next few.
India won an important toss and would have wished to make it count. Shubman Gill surely missed out when neither the opener nor India had opened their account. The ball was turning big, but Rohit Sharma had his own ways to deal with it.
What a shot. Slightly fuller.
The Indian opener did not hold himself back, scored boundaries frequently and applied himself well to counter the English attack. While Pujara was batting as usual, runs were flowing from the other end with Rohit reaching his half-century in quick time.
And a commanding 50 for Rohit Sharma.
India looked well placed when Jack Leach got Cheteshwar Pujara before lunch.
That's smartly taken.
One wicket gave way to another, and this time Moeen Ali drew Virat Kohli forward to a well-tossed-up delivery that spun and crashed onto the Indian skipper's off-stump.
Absolutely stunned. And so is the crowd here.
Rohit, though, seemed to be batting on a different wicket and got an able ally in Ajinkya Rahane.
That's delightful.
The Indian opener brought up his 7th Test century and England were under pressure.
Brilliant, outstanding 100. Will be very, very happy on a difficult pitch.
Rahane also raised a much-needed half-century and his 162-run stand was brought to an end by Leach with the dismissal of Rohit Sharma. But not before the Indian opener had scored a magnificent 161.
And Rohit Sharma, what a wonderful innings, 161.
1 run later, Rahane was walking back too after being dismissed by Moeen Ali with India at 249 for 5.
Sense of guilt maybe.
India lost R. Ashwin before Rishabh Pant and debutant Akshar Patel avoided any further casualty as India ended day 1 at 300 for 6. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Don't you just love the hitman, Rohit Sharma? Well, joining me now, the greatest of all time, Sunil Gavaskar, the final word on cricket, our consulting editor, Boria Majumdar. Sunny bhai, would it be fair to say that this is a solid comeback by Team India after losing that first test? And especially if you take into account what we've achieved on day 1, 300 for 6, on such a track that India are now in a dominant position in this test.
They certainly are, no question about it, because if they score, I said as soon as I saw the pitch that if India score 350, they'll be in the driver's seat. And that's exactly where they're heading for, 300 for 6, Rishabh Pant there. 1 hour of Rishabh Pant tomorrow will mean that we might actually even get closer to 400, and that'll be tough for England to get. Because if the pitch is turning so much on day 1, then just imagine what it'll be on day 3 and 4. It might, I doubt if the match is going to go to day 5, but yes, I think 300 is a very good score that India have reached.
And with the spinners that we have now, Kuldeep, you wanted Kuldeep back, he's back, Ashwin is there, Siraj for Bumrah. You, Sunny bhai, you mentioned that you would have actually gone with Bumrah. There was no need to rest him and instead of Siraj. So please, can you elaborate on that?
Well, I would have, I mean, if they had to take Siraj, they could have taken him in place of Ishan, but Bumrah is your number 1 bowler.
Yeah.
And you don't rest your number 1 bowler, especially after you've lost the first test. If you had won the first test, then yes, maybe I would have thought, yeah, okay, give him a break. But I don't think he'd bowled all that many overs. He'd bowled 36 overs in the first innings when England scored 578, and I think he bowled 6 overs in the second. And mustn't forget that after this test match, there is a 1-week gap before the next test starts in which he will play because it's a pink ball test.
Yeah.
So yes, I know there is thinking that you've got to keep him fresh for that. But anybody who bowls only 42 overs, being given a break, workload management as they call it. My only question is how come there's no workload management as far as batsmen are concerned? Why only for the bowlers? You never seem to rest any batsman from too much of work when when it comes to Test cricket. It's only the bowlers and sometimes wicket keepers who are rested for whatever reason. So I would have picked him because he's your number one bowler. He's your number one fast bowler. Ravichandran Ashwin is your number one spin bowler. And so both of them have to play, particularly when you're one down.
Right, and Boria Majumdar, as Sunny Bhai said, 400 good enough for the first innings. First question is that. And second question, you know, it seems like it's a turning track. Yes, we've got the spinners, we've got the firepower in our bowling, but we cannot afford to underestimate this English side. They dominated the first test. You never know how they're going to come back, despite all the demons in the pitch. So, about both points.
Yeah, the first point you said 400, I would say 350. Exactly what Sunil Gavaskar said. I think 350 is good enough. It actually links to the second point. Yes, England got 578, but that was because of the pitch on day 1 and day 2. Look at how they batted in the second innings, 170 all out, and they did not take the initiative also on day 4. So they will be apprehensive. And if you see here, I mean, there's no reason. Akshar Patel will be the. I want to see what Akshar Patel does. All he needs to do, bowl flat, hard, see what Joe Root did, and if that happens, don't be surprised if Akshar Patel gets a bag full. I think, as Sunil Gavaskar said again, if India get to 350 plus, this is India's game. I don't see India losing. I don't see England saving this. I again agree with Sunny Bhai when he says day 4 I see this match finishing. Tomorrow morning I'm very keen. Valentine's Day, Rishabh Pant loves Jack Leach. So some more Valentine's Day gifts to him and we'll definitely cross 350.
Rishabh Pant loves Jack Leach. Rishabh Pant loves the Australians. Rishabh Pant just puts on a show. So we are waiting to see what Rishabh Pant does tomorrow. But for the moment, I have to talk to both of you about my favorite batsman. You know who he is? The hitman Rohit Sharma. Before that, let's just see a package on Rohit. Rohit Sharma could not get runs in the opening test against England, but in the second test, the Indian opener proved how impactful he is for the Indian team. On a square turner, Rohit dominated the English bowlers and handed India an early advantage in this crucial test, which India needs to win to keep its hopes alive of playing the World Test Championship final.
Hitman is back.
A brilliant 100 from Rohit Sharma.
Rohit Sharma has overcome his failures in the opening test with a majestic ton.
Brilliant, outstanding 100 deliveries.
Rohit at the top is always a dangerous proposition for any opposition. And at Chepauk in the second test, Rohit just proved it why.
A commanding 50 for Rohit Sharma.
On a wicket where every other batsman struggled for runs, the Mumbai Marauder dictated the terms and raced to his 7th test century.
A brilliant 100 from Rohit Sharma.
The Indian opener not just held the innings together but scored runs at a brisk pace.
Takes the good shot on.
Rohit did the bulk of scoring and completed his ton when India's total was 147.
Rohit Sharma somewhere near his best.
In the series opener, the hitman fell cheaply in both the innings, but this time around, he was a man on a mission.
Dispatched in for 6. What a shot. What a player.
Even on the tour of Australia, Rohit provided India with some good starts.
Glorious boundary through the cut.
Although he was guilty of throwing it away, nevertheless, his contribution reflected in India's success, especially in the last 2 test matches.
It's a very important milestone. He doesn't open too much.
On a turning track where the ball started to turn square on day 1 itself, Rohit seemed to be batting on a completely different wicket.
Slightly fuller against the spin off.
That's the value of Rohit Sharma. When he scores big. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Brilliant 100 from Rohit Sharma.
Sunny Bhai, the hitman Rohit Sharma, the definition of clean, smooth, powerful hitting. What a dominant performance. He wasn't scoring in the first test, but what a comeback by him. And the rate at which he scores, that just takes the game away from the opposition.
It does. And we've seen that happen so often. But what was most impressive about Rohit Sharma today was his shot selection. Yeah. It's a shot selection that sometimes lets him down, but this time he was absolutely, perfect. When he played the sweep shot, he made sure that he was rolling his wrists over so that the ball was hit along the ground. when he played the lofted drive also, he made sure that he got close to the ball, not too close, but in such a way that he was hitting it straight with the turn, without the turn. It was just incredible batting. And that's why we all love to watch him bat. And that's why we all get upset when he gets out early.
Yeah.
Because we all are hungry to watch him bat. But yes, I think nobody else looked capable of batting like he did. Ajinkya Rahane to some extent, and then Cheteshwar Pujara in his usual dogged style. But out of 300 for 6, when you have somebody scoring 161 runs, it just tells you how much he's dominated the innings.
Yes, and Boria, Sunny Bhai summed it up perfectly. I think the crucial point there is how beautiful he looks when he just gets going. And on such a wicket, to get 161 on this speed, I mean, this man is just on another level.
He was. I mean, if you take a look from what, Australia, at no point in time did he not look at ease.
Yes.
He got himself out.
He threw it
Mitchell
away,
Stark catch, fine leg, he got out. Nathan Lyon, that Hoik, as Sunny Bhai said, the words he said, short selection. Rohit Sharma played 75 overs of the new ball after 14 days of quarantine without a single tour game. Do you want more talent? That fellow is full and bundle of talent. But one point I also want to ask Sunny Bhai, and this I've been following. 2 Indian boys, I don't want to name them here, they said the ground looked like a morgue to us without the crowd. Think Australia. The moment crowds came in, India was a different team. And today again, India was a different team. Sunny Bhai, how much does this impact the Indian side? Because they are used to having support. And the moment over the last couple of months, Australia, we've seen crowds in India has been superb. Rohit Sharma, once again, proving that point. Your thoughts on that, please?
Yes, I think every performer loves to have an audience. And when you get appreciation from the audience, when there's applause, when there's cheering, it lifts you up. It makes you try even harder, and that's exactly what's been happening when you see the Indian team. Every time, say, Rishabh Pant hits that big 6 and he gets the cheers from the crowd, not just here but even in Australia, because there was a lot of Indian supporters down there as well. It just lifted everybody up. So yes, I think having the crowds has made a huge difference to this Indian team, and it puts pressure on the visiting team. Because they suddenly find that they have not too many supporters over there. Yes, there will be the odd supporter in the crowd, but he'll be completely dominated by the Indian supporters.
Yeah, well, when India's playing home, abroad, I think the fans just dominate the game any which way. Stay with me, great Sunny Bhai and Boria. Another man who played a crucial hand was Ajinkya Rahane. The Indian vice-captain came into bat when India lost 2 quick wickets, but Rahane hung on to score 67 and added 162 for the 4th wicket with Rohit Sharma. Here's what Rahane had to say.
I thought proper Indian conditions, we knew that it's going to turn from day number 1. What was important on this wicket, obviously winning the toss, but yeah, I think batting on this wicket was really important. I think partnerships, we were talking about partnerships, and Rohit and Pujara got that partnership for us, and then Rohit and myself. I thought partnerships was really important, but again, intent on this wicket, we were discussing about that. Positive intent, positive attitude on this wicket was important. What happened in the first game was past. For me, what was important was to start fresh, be positive, back myself, and play with intent. As I said, on this wicket, intent is really important. You cannot go too defensive on this wicket. You got to use your footwork really well, and I think be one step ahead of opposition. Yeah, we had that strategy. We discussed in our batting meeting about what kind of shots we play on this wicket. Last wicket was different. This wicket is completely different. So we had to change our game plan completely and make them bowl to our strengths, and that's what Rohit did exactly. I mean, the way he batted, he was completely positive from ball number 1. And I think that intent which he has shown was really good. I think 150 plus on this wicket is really good. Bat as long as possible. Get that add another 50-60 runs from here, and then take on. Rishabh is batting really well at the moment with Akshar. So I thought one more partnership with Rishabh and Akshar, and we are in the game. I thought when they were bowling, adjusting that pace, bowling quicker through the air was slightly difficult. And I thought bowling straighter on this wicket felt that bowlers are in the game.
Sunny bhai, two-part question. Firstly, how do you rate this wicket, which is turning square on day 1? And you said, you know, what's going to happen on day 5 if it goes to day 5? And secondly, Kuldeep Yadav. We all wanted him to play. Now he's playing. Expectations from Kuldeep. How impactful can Kuldeep Yadav be?
Yes, certainly the expectation will be high because everybody questioned why he was not there in the team in the first test. So the pressure will be on the poor fellow. But he might not get to bowl too much because, like Boria said, I also believe that this wicket is made for Akshar Patel.
Okay.
His flattish deliveries will cause more problems because if he gets the ball to grip with the height that he's got, he doesn't really need to toss the ball up, and he doesn't actually doesn't look to try and get the batsman deceived in the air. He's looking to deceive the batsman off the pitch, and so yes, I think he'll be that much more dangerous, and so maybe Kuldeep might not get too much bowling because as we saw, as soon as Rishabh Pant was batting, Joe Root took Jack Leach off because in 1 over, if Rishabh Pant hit him for 3 sixes, that's almost 20 runs added to the total, and every run is vital. So maybe, unless there's a big partnership, Kuldeep might not get too much bowling in this game.
Right. And Sunny bhai, we always speak about Rohit Sharma's shot selection. You just spoke about it. Virat Kohli's shot selection today. What do you have to say about Virat's dismissal in particular? I know there's no need to panic. He scored in the last test, the second innings. And Virat is Virat. I mean, he's the golden boy. He's King Kohli. But still, shot selection, this particular match, because he was just in early, sort of reaching for the ball.
Well, I mean, I'd give the bowler credit for that because it was a beautiful delivery. Because if you actually have a look at the way the ball has slightly moved away, and it was a full pitch, almost a full pitch delivery. And look, Virat was on 0. And when you see a half volley, you look to get off the mark. That's the shot that he plays so well, the extra cover drive. He was looking to play the extra cover drive. Didn't quite get to the pitch of the ball. That's because the ball dipped at the last moment. So full credit to the bowler. I don't think there was anything wrong as far as the shot selection was concerned. It was just that ball was an absolute beauty. I said in commentary that my old teammate, Irapalli Prasanna, would have been very proud of that dismissal.
Wow, what a legend, Irapalli Prasanna. And Boria Majumdar. England made 4 changes. How is that going to impact this game?
See, you did not see too much of reverse swing today. I mean, there was a shade. So in that, I thought Ollie Stone was very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. Stuart Broad, not so. Dom Bess, I was a little surprised after his performance, but he's been slightly erratic in the second innings at Galle and even in the last test match. So Jofra Archer is a forced one. Definitely. I mean, the Jofra Archer change to Ollie Stone, I don't think has had too much impact because Stone was the better of the English fast bowlers. Moeen Ali has been impressive in the sense he's got you 2 wickets, but 112 runs conceded tells you India had a plan. And like Sunil Gavaskar said, to go back to Sunil Gavaskar, Irapalli Prasanna would never had given 112 runs to this opposition team on a track like this. So that is the difference. If you take the left arm of Bishan Bedi and if you take the left arm of right arm of Irapalli Prasanna on this wicket, go back to 1971, I don't think this England side would get 250 plus if they bat second.
Yeah, and we haven't even spoken about Chandrasekhar. So let's move on, gentlemen. It's been some time since Rohit Sharma scored his last century, but on day 1 of the second test, that wait was over. However, the Indian opener had some anxious moments when he was in the 90s, and his wife shared those emotions from the stands.
To the extent this pitch is going to deteriorate, and how diminishing the returns per innings the scores will be. Almost Rohit looking to get to that 3-figure mark in style. Oh, goodness me. Straight off the cue end. This is Sharma calling for a bit of chalk for the end of Rohit's bat.
Yes, he's looking to play that little scoop. But the ball came so late that it actually ended up hitting the cue end of the bat.
Well,
just a few moments of nerves in the 90s. He's played so fluently, he's played pretty aggressively as well. 98 off just 125, but just a few nervy moments.
He seems to want to get there very quickly. Seen over the last, what, 6, 7, perhaps 8 balls. Wants to get there quickly and deserves it.
Those fingers have been crossed for a long, long time.
Beautifully played, and will come back for 2, which will complete a quite brilliant 100 from Rohit Sharma. Batting has not been straightforward on this surface, but he has made it look pretty simple. What an innings from Rohit Sharma.
Brilliant, outstanding 100. Will be very, very happy.
Sunny bhai, you know, whenever Rohit bats and he is so dominant. Today also when I was watching him, I thought 300 to pakka hai aaj because of the strike rate that he plays at. And only 2 gentlemen have scored 300 in the history of Indian cricket test matches. Rohit is well on song. I mean, he's spoken about how much test cricket means to him. He really wants to perform. Now you think Rohit Sharma is maturing just at, you know, that, like you say, aging like fine wine, and he is a solid opener, what India was looking for in the tests.
He definitely is. I think he's at the peak of his batting prowess. When you're 31, 32, you're at the peak. You know exactly what your body is like. You know exactly how much you can push yourself. You also know that this is the time that you've got to really make hay while the sun shines. And that's exactly what he's doing. And you're right. I think he's the next one capable of scoring a triple 100 for India. He needs a pitch. If India had batted first in the first test, who knows? At that point of time, he could have got a triple 100. But yes, there are a couple more matches left, and he could well be the second one to join Virendra Sehwag in scoring a triple 100. But his was a fabulous innings, and you know, I can empathize with his wife. Because she must have been nervous. She concentrates every ball with him, and she plays every ball with him. So she must be also pretty tired at the end of every day's play, keeping her fingers, you know, crossed for her husband, praying for him. It's not easy. It's not easy being a cricketer's wife, and particularly a batsman's wife, because, you know, any ball can get you out.
Yes, and you know, they are a brilliant team. Boria, Majumdar, where do we go from here? Talk to me about the bowling in particular now. Okay, let's say we get 400 on the board, which we are expecting now with Rishabh Pant down in the middle. The bowling, talk to me about India's attack. What should be our plan?
See, this is a better attack. I mean, you asked where do we go from here? We're going to win the game. I think day 4, game over. I think India is already 70% up. If India gets to 350 plus, as Sunil Gavaskar rightly said, you don't need to debate that. India is done. I mean, I don't see England doing anything to win this game if India get to 350. The only result possible for me is, can England save it? No, they can't. There's too much time. There's no rain. Rohit Sharma's up the ante. He's given Ritika the best Valentine's Day gift she could have hoped and asked for. So all that you want from India today is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Just like you, Sushant. You were there at the conclave. You're back in Delhi taking charge of the sports show. You're a perfect man. So in every sense, it's been the perfect story for India. And I hope this game will be the perfect story. Day 4, game over.
The perfect story for India. I want to thank both my guests, the legendary Sunil Gavaskar, the final word on cricket, Boria Majumdar. Well, it's going to be Super Sunday tomorrow. Rishabh Pant could give the English side a well-deserved Valentine's Day gift by scoring just like how Rishabh Pant does. So we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, only on Sports Today. Thanks for watching and goodbye.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.